been playing around with angles for my legs, and I think I've decided on 10 degrees. I believe that will give me the effect that I'm looking for. I want to use the same angle on the front and back and on both ends. Right now I'm getting ready to square up the ends of the top skirts before I cut any angles, to make sure that I've figured out exactly what I want to do. I don't know why, but this table saw still scares the heck out of me. I've been using it for about 23 years with no serious issues. I don't know. Anyway, I've got the blade set up at 10 degrees to make the top cut across the skirts. These will be pieces that are directly attached to the tabletop. I got two side pieces, and I'll be cutting this down to two end pieces. So I'll go ahead and get all the angles cut on the top first. Okay, so I've got all the non-compound 10-degree angles cut on the legs. This part will be, at the top, and this will be the foot. It's going to be cut here and turned back, so it's going kind of an X. Strange as this may sound, I've decided that the easiest way to cut these compound miters is on a compound miter saw. Yes, hard to believe, I know. Got a 10-degree bevel across the top, and I need the miters to come out 45 degrees, and for some reason I've had to set the saw at 10 degrees and 44 to get it to come out right. Probably should have paid more attention to geometry. This is the middle section of the table. The legs will come down to here from the top and then extend down to the floor from below this part. Got the angles marked on my legs. I believe I'm going to cut them in half straight before I try to cut the angles, just to keep from screwing them up. I'm not sure the blade will clear if I don't cut them straight. Still got a bunch to do before I can start any assembly. The boards on this middle section back here may be wide enough for me to use number 0 biscuits to join them. I'm using mortise and loose tenons to join the legs to the skirt for the top. Got to take these skirt pieces and cut slots for my hold downs. I've got several angled cuts to make on each of these leg pieces, because I'm splitting each one of these in two to get the design that I want. Right here I'll have to have a 10-degree compound miter, but at the moment I'm getting ready to make a 10-degree cut off of the end here, so these will fit the skirt exactly where I want them to. Might help if I plug my saw in. Need to add some more receptacles over here. I got too many things to plug in. Another 4 gang would probably do it. Set this up for the miter saw, table saw, compressor, and router table. And then I've decided I need a dehumidifier, and I have to run a heater in the winter, so that's put me 2 receptacles short. Electronic braking doesn't work on my little miter saw anymore. Last time I replaced the brushes and brush housings, it just didn't start working again. I think that's because I had to buy a different type of brush housing, not the one that's actually made for this saw. Good. I'm gonna go test it. Okay, I got the saw angle set at 10 degrees, bevel at 10 degrees. Got a stop block clamped in, and this should get me 4 of the leg pieces before I have to change the setup. I got my sacrificial fence in to prevent the tear out. So yeah, I think I'm ready to go. Nice having this little clamp to hold the pieces in place. Oh wow. Yeah, now my stop block's turning loose since I'm letting the clamp go. That's beautiful. It's one thing I've always hated about this saw is there's no good way to clamp a stop block down for short pieces. This works for longer pieces. Alright, well, I'm just going to have to reset this. Okay, I think I got the stop block situation worked out. Let's try this cut and see how it looks. Yeah, I think they're dead on. I don't think I mentioned, but both my stop blocks have a 10-degree bevel on them to match the end. These are some test pieces I was using when I was figuring out the angles on the skirt. And they worked out well for stop blocks because it gives me, instead of just having a square piece at the end, which may or may not be perfectly accurate, it gives me more contact area, so I'll get a more accurate stop. I did a test cut with my biscuit joiner to make sure number 0 biscuits were going to work. And this is the part that's going at the midpoint between the legs. This thing is a jig that I made for assembling some herringbone serving boards, and I'm just using it to help hold these small pieces in place. As you can see, they're too small to try to clamp, because the clamps would interfere with the biscuit joiner. Okay, I'm going to get this piece glued up. Okay, I had to pull that picture frame clamp off and just use F clamps. I couldn't get it tight enough, smooth enough with those, but I got it now. I'll let it sit overnight, and then I will work on cutting mortises for the legs that are going to go on here. So this is how the bottom legs are going to go. This will be the foot.